Hi, how are you? Um, I wanted to go ahead and talk today about what everybody is talking about Ukraine, and I wanted to talk to you about war, about how it's just so horrible. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and just mention how bad things are. I mean, war in itself is bad. I mean, there's only losers, no winners. I mean, you might say, "Oh, well, it accomplishes this," regardless of what it accomplishes, you know, no, there are no winners. I mean, you might say, "Well, back in World War II, well, somebody had to get rid of the Nazis and blah blah blah, or Imperial Japan," you know, and I understand that, but I mean, it came at a cost. I mean, there was almost 300,000 American deaths that occurred, and much more millions out, you know, of not, of people that died. So, I mean, regardless, it's just terrible. I mean, nothing else more can be said. It's humanity at its low. It's, for people that are these, very hawkish on war and, they have to ask themselves, you know, your countrymen, your relatives are gonna, they're gonna die. They're gonna endure these horrible things that happen, and you have to ask yourself, is that something that anybody is willing to do? And the answer is nobody wants to do that. So one of the things that I just want to go ahead and mention is that the civilians pay the price. The politicians don't. They're the ones calling the shots. They're sending people, these young men to go out there and fight these wars, and it's just horrible. And and they're only for financial gain. The defense contractors, make money, and I'm not trying to say people who work in the defense industry are bad. No, by no means. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that the military is bad. I'm not saying that either. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of good things that we can learn from the military. The NATO alphabet is one thing that I use at work. And but anyway, not to go far off topic, but this war that's going on is bad, just like all of them. And I'm hoping this war comes to an end soon. And I'm the kind that believes in God. I know there's a lot of people who don't believe in God, and but I do, and I'll be honest. I think that there's gonna come a day where he's gonna get rid of wars, diseases, and me working in the healthcare industry. I'll tell you, it's heartbreaking hearing people getting these diseases where they're terminal, and there is no other option. You know, um, and they're sadly a lot of these people pass away, and I'm hoping the day comes when God gets rid of those diseases as well. But like I mentioned, not to go too off topic, I just want to go ahead and just give my 2 cents on war and how horrible it is, and then it's just sickening how governments they have a complete disregard for their citizenry, and how they're willing to get these young men to go out there and fight their wars. And I'm not trying to cast you know judgment on anyone. I mean, I'm not. I think all governments are just bad news. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, sure, there's some that are not, so they're not as bad, but all of them, they're corrupt. They do very little for their citizens. They're all of them. I don't care which government it is in the world. They're bad news. I mean, especially what's going on with Canada and the trucker protests. That too. I mean, I'm sorry, but even whichever governments you are, um, the government in Mexico. I mean, they're with what's going on. I mean, they're corrupt. The corruption also there is bad, and around the world, you name the place, and it's just bad news. These governments are self-serving, and they could they don't care about citizens, and it's sad. I mean, it's so horrible that they're willing to send people out to fight these wars. Anyway, I mean, I understand the implications. I understand that. I understand why Russia would want to invade Ukraine because of NATO expansion, and that could have been solved, but unfortunately, both sides, Russia and NATO, that's something that they failed to do. I mean, I'm not here to give my opinion on politics, but I mean, it's just terrible, and I'm personally disgusted, by governments just doing these awful things, sending their young men to go fight wars. Anyway, I could go rant and rabble on, but I'll just be repeating myself over and over again. But anyway, guys, it's Saturday evening, and enjoy your weekend. And always appreciate what you have in life, because there's other people who would want to be in your situation. And I want to thank you so much for your time, and have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.